How did one of the world's oldest civilizations rise, thrive, and leave behind a legacy that still fascinates us today? From colossal pyramids to powerful pharaohs, ancient Egypt's history is nothing short of extraordinary. Welcome back to BritBiz, the place where history comes alive in the most engaging way. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for more fascinating stories from around the world. Ancient Egypt stands as one of the greatest civilizations of all time. For over 3,000 years, it gave us incredible achievements in art, science, architecture, and culture. From the mighty Nile River that gave life to their lands to the kings and queens who ruled with divine power, Egypt's story is both remarkable and mysterious. In this video, we'll explore the entire history of ancient Egypt from its early beginnings, through the golden eras of the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms, and finally to its eventual decline. By the end, you'll see why Egypt remains one of the most studied and admired civilizations in human history. Let's dive in. The birth of Egyptian civilization. To truly understand ancient Egypt, we need to start at its heart of the Nile River, also known as the gift of the Nile. Why? Because without it, Egypt as we know it wouldn't exist. The role of the Nile River. The Nile River was like a lifeline cutting through the vast desert. Every year, the river would flood, depositing rich, fertile soil on its banks. This natural event gave farmers the perfect conditions to grow crops like wheat and barley. It was this steady food supply that allowed communities to settle down, grow, and thrive. In short, the Nile turned dry, empty land into an oasis of life, and it laid the foundation for one of the greatest civilizations in history. Early settlers in farming communities. Thousands of years ago, people began settling along the banks of the Nile. These were small farming communities that learned to harness the river's power. They invented irrigation systems, domesticated animals, and created simple tools for farming. Slowly, these early villages grew into small kingdoms, each with their own leaders and identities. But this was just the beginning. These small kingdoms were about to unite under one ruler, marking the true start of ancient Egypt. Unification of Egypt. King Narmer, around 3100 BCE, a powerful leader emerged. King Narmer, also known as Mens, he achieved something extraordinary. He united Upper Egypt, the southern part of the land, with Lower Egypt, the northern delta region. This unification created the first centralized Egyptian state, and King Narmer became the first pharaoh of a united Egypt. The double crown symbolism. To symbolize his rule over both regions, Narmer wore the double crown, combining the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red crown of Lower Egypt. This marked the beginning of the first dynasty and the start of over 3,000 years of Egyptian civilization. With the Nile providing life, farmers building communities, and leaders like Narmer uniting the people, Egypt had taken its first steps towards becoming a powerful and enduring civilization. But this was just the start. Soon, the Egyptians would embark on building monuments that would stand for thousands of years. Let's move on to the next chapter, the era of the pyramids. Building the pyramids. How and why the pyramids were built. Imagine standing in the desert, looking up at a structure so massive and precise. It seems almost impossible to build the Great Pyramid of Giza. But why were these gigantic monuments created? For the pharaohs, the pyramids were more than tombs. They were eternal homes where their souls would live forever. The Egyptians believed the pharaoh was divine, a god on earth, and his afterlife had to be as grand as his reign. How were they built? But how did they build these colossal structures thousands of years ago without modern tools? Here's the fascinating part. Egyptians used simple yet brilliant techniques. Skilled workers, not slaves as many think, cut and transported massive limestone blocks using wooden sleds, ramps, and sheer manpower. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, stood as the tallest structure in the world for over 3,800 years, made up of over 2 million stone blocks. Quick fact: to put it in perspective, some of these blocks weighed as much as 15 tons. This shows just how organized, resourceful, and skilled the Egyptians were during this time. 2. Pharaohs and divine rule. Pharaohs as god-kings. The Old Kingdom was also about the power of the pharaoh. The Egyptians saw their pharaoh not just as a king, but as a living god, the link between the people and the gods. Pharaohs were responsible for maintaining the balance and order of the universe. To honor them, massive pyramids were built, art flourished, and temples were constructed. Pharaoh Snefer used contributions. Pharaoh Sneferu, for example, perfected pyramid building by constructing the Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid, paving the way for the stunning pyramids that followed. 3. Achievements in art, culture, and religion. Cultural growth. This period wasn't just about building pyramids, it was a golden age for Egyptian art, culture, and religion. Skilled artists created beautiful statues, carvings, and paintings to honor the gods and decorate tombs. The art wasn't just decoration, it was symbolic. Every image told a story. Every statue had a purpose. Advancements in religion. Religious beliefs also became more defined. Egyptians worshipped a complex system of gods, like Ra, the sun god, who was seen as the creator and giver of life. Temples dedicated to these gods became centers of both worship and power. Legacy of the Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom set the standard for everything to come. The pyramids, the divine rule of the pharaohs, and the cultural achievements of this time laid the foundation for Egyptian civilization for thousands of years. Closing transition. The Old Kingdom eventually came to an end, but its legacy, especially the pyramids, still stands strong today. These magnificent structures remind us of Egypt's incredible vision and skill. But the story doesn't stop here. After the Old Kingdom collapsed, Egypt entered a period of struggle before rising again during the Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom, 2055 A 1650 BCE, is often called Egypt's Golden Age because it was a time of stability, growth, and cultural flourishing. After the chaos of the First Intermediate Period, Egypt was reunited under strong pharaohs like Mentuhotep II, bringing order and expanding the kingdom's borders. The economy thrived, with increased trade routes to regions like Nubia, the Levant, and Punt, boosting resources such as gold, ivory, and incense. Advancements in agriculture, like improved irrigation systems, allowed Egypt to produce more food, supporting a growing population. Culturally, this period saw a boom in literature, such as the Tale of Sinu, along with advancements in art and architecture, including the construction of impressive temples and tombs. The Middle Kingdom laid the groundwork for a stronger, more connected Egypt, balancing power, prosperity, and artistic expression. The New Kingdom, 1558–1070 BCE, marks the pinnacle of ancient Egypt's power, wealth, and influence, often called the Age of Empire. During this period, Egypt became a dominant force by expanding its territory into Nubia, Canaan, and parts of the Near East, establishing itself as one of the world's first great empires. Legendary pharaohs defined this era. Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's few and most powerful female rulers, focused on trade and monumental building projects. Akhenaten attempted a radical change by introducing monotheism, worshipping only the sun god Aten, though his reforms were short-lived. Tutankhamun, famously known as the Boy King, remains iconic due to the discovery of his intact tomb, offering invaluable insights into Egyptian life. Meanwhile, Ramses II, often called Ramses the Great, was both a brilliant warrior and an ambitious builder, leading Egypt to military victories and commissioning massive projects like Abu Simbel. This era also saw the construction of breathtaking temples and monuments, including the sprawling Karnak Temple complex, Luxor Temple, and the Valley of the Kings, where pharaohs were buried in grand tombs designed to secure their afterlife. The New Kingdom stands as a testament to Egypt's unmatched ambition, architectural genius, and enduring cultural legacy. The decline of ancient Egypt was a gradual process marked by internal struggles, economic challenges, and repeated invasions that weakened the once great civilization. Internal struggles. Egypt's decline began with the weakening of central power, particularly after the New Kingdom. As the pharaoh's authority diminished, local governors, nomarchs, gained more control, leading to political fragmentation. Economic troubles, including costly military campaigns and difficulties managing Egypt's vast territories, further strained the kingdom. Corruption and mismanagement of resources made it harder to sustain the grand projects and stability that had defined Egypt's earlier eras. Invasions. With Egypt weakened internally, it became vulnerable to foreign invasions. The first major blow came from the Hyksos during the Second Intermediate Period, c. 1650 BCE, a foreign group that introduced advanced military technologies like the horse-drawn chariot. Later, powerful empires such as the Assyrians, 7th century BCE, and Persians, 6th century BCE, invaded and dominated Egypt, reducing it to a vassal state. These invasions disrupted Egyptian traditions and placed heavy demands on the population, further eroding Egypt's independence and stability. The end of native Egyptian rule. The final chapter of ancient Egypt came with the conquest by Alexander the Great in 332 BCE. After his death, Egypt became part of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek ruling family that blended Hellenistic culture with Egyptian traditions. While this period saw cultural exchanges and advancements, it marked the end of native Egyptian pharaohs. By 30 BCE, Egypt fell under the control of the Roman Empire after the defeat of Cleopatra VII and Mark Antony. This officially ended Egypt's 3,000-year history as an independent civilization. The decline of ancient Egypt reflects a combination of internal instability and external pressures, culminating in its absorption into larger empires. Despite this, Egypt's cultural and architectural achievements, including its temples, tombs, and rich mythology, ensured its legacy would endure for millennia. The legacy of ancient Egypt remains one of the most remarkable and enduring contributions to human history, with its knowledge, innovations, and culture continuing to captivate and influence the modern world. The preservation of their knowledge. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in recording their history and knowledge. Through hieroglyphics, a system of pictorial writing, they documented religious texts, laws, and daily life on papyrus, the first known form of paper. This method of recording information preserved their achievements for thousands of years. The key to understanding hieroglyphics came in 1799 with the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, a slab inscribed in Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphics. It allowed scholars to finally decode the ancient Egyptian language, unlocking their secrets and shedding light on their civilization. Contributions to science, mathematics, and architecture. Ancient Egypt made significant strides in science and mathematics that laid the foundation for future civilizations. They developed the solar calendar with 365 days, which influenced the calendars we use today. In mathematics, Egyptians mastered geometry, which they used to measure land and design their awe-inspiring structures. Their understanding of engineering and advanced tools allowed them to construct monumental works such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Sphinx, and intricate temples like Karnak and Abu Simbel, structures that still stand as marvels of human achievement. In medicine, Egyptian doctors recorded treatments, surgeries, and remedies in medical papyri, showcasing an advanced understanding of the human body for their time. The continued fascination, thousands of years after its decline. Ancient Egypt continues to influence and fascinate the modern world. Its mythology, monumental architecture, and art have inspired literature, films, and art across the globe. The allure of Egyptian tombs, mummies, and treasures fuels modern exploration and research. Symbols like the Ankh and the Eye of Horus are still recognized worldwide, representing life, protection, and power. Additionally, Egypt's historical emphasis on legacy in the afterlife teaches us about the human desire for meaning, remembrance, and connection to the eternal. Ancient Egypt's enduring legacy lives on through its remarkable achievements, innovative knowledge, and cultural influence, reminding us of humanity's capacity for creativity, perseverance, and exploration. From classrooms to museums, and even popular culture, the fascination with ancient Egypt continues to shape our understanding of the past and inspire future generations. To recap, ancient Egypt's journey from the rise of the first settlements along the Nile to the grandeur of the pyramids and its eventual decline is nothing short of extraordinary. From the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under King Narmer to the golden age of the Old Kingdom, through the stability and cultural flowering of the Middle Kingdom, and the empire-building New Kingdom, ancient Egypt left a lasting imprint on the world. They gave us monumental achievements in architecture, medicine, art, and written language, along with invaluable contributions to mathematics and science. Although ancient Egypt may have fallen thousands of years ago, its legacy remains alive. The wisdom, innovations, and culture that Egyptians created continue to inspire and influence us today, from the wonders of their monumental pyramids to the symbols and knowledge they preserved. Egypt's rise, accomplishments, and eventual fall remind us that no matter the challenges we face, we too can leave a legacy that endures through time. Final thought: ancient Egypt may have fallen thousands of years ago, but its legacy remains alive, reminding us of the greatness humanity can achieve.